Jazz Thornton is a fairly spectacular human being. She's a mental health advocate. I don't want to get too much into her story because I'll mangle it, but basically she was a teenager who was in desperate need of help because of her mental health. Attempted to take her own life, I think, on several times. And the turning point for her, and I'm pretty sure this is what it is, but she tried to take her own life in a tree, and a female officer was holding her legs to take the weight off her neck so she wouldn't die. That's the point that Jazz got to. And from there, she's been able, and she's been young New Zealander of there, and most of all, I think she won Dancing with the Stars. But she has a spectacular, she's got what I guess we'd call the mana to speak on mental health, like not many people have in New Zealand. From A, being there, to B, going through it, to C, and I'm always careful about saying coming out the other end, because I talk about addiction, that the addiction's always in the car park doing press ups, but to a point right now where they're looking back and they're helping others.
The Minister didn't know about this at all. Are you surprised?
Yes, I'm very surprised. I think wholeheartedly, and I'll say this very blatantly, that Christopher Luxon, if you and your office decide to shut down the Suicide Prevention Office, you are saying that every single person that is suicidal is worth less than your tax cuts. That's what it is. You're saying that they don't matter. You're saying that their lives don't matter. This is an office that is so important, that is dedicated to saving people's lives in an epidemic that we know is one of our biggest killers in this country.
Jesus. Yep. We have dreadful statistics in here for mental health and youth suicide, especially in this country, and anything that pulls away from that. To, like, again, everything, you can just draw a straight line between the cuts that they're making to these social services and tax cuts for fucking landlords. It's so cartoonish at this stage. Taking away lunches for kids, taking away something that can identify clusters of suicides. And look, as someone that grew up in a reasonably smallish town, I can tell you the ripples of a suicide.
Yeah.
In a community like that, in a place like a school, it's devastating. I must admit, I didn't know what that office did, but her description of looking for these patterns is just so important. But yes, that's the thing. They are putting, like Brooke Van Velden said, that we put too high a price on human life during the COVID thing. It's an Excel spreadsheet. It's someone's P&L, their profit and loss statement, versus the worth of a human life.
I've watched this clip 3 or 4 times to get ready for tonight, and right now I feel angrier than I felt any other time I watched it. I guess when I'm prepping, I'm kind of getting stuff ready for tonight. I'm going to show you this, and we'll show this. And now that I actually sat, listened to it again, I'm this, even though this has sort of been, it appears has been turned over. We could go on some pithy kind of attack on the government, going, "Hang on, but you said you wouldn't interfere with the CEOs, and now you're interfering. So is it hands on, hands off?" The truth is, I feel like saying this is why I sit on the left in politics. Because this is the kind of evil, vindictive, money-grubbing, focus on the bottom line, come hell or high water, costing people's lives, that the right do. Whether it's making kids unhealthier by taking away school lunches, whether it's potentially, it was at that point, shutting down an office that's going to lead to more people killing themselves. I am, we've said this before, Mr. Luxon, if you open the door to some of these people and to some of these policies, whatever breaks, you own. If something happens within this system because of your cutbacks that causes more teenagers to kill themselves, you fucking own that. Because the left wouldn't have done this. Now, there's other things we can criticize the left on. Sure. Chewy and I have been critical of, in particular, Labour for a long time. But what you won't find on the left is, hey, if we get rid of this office that can help curve the upswing of teenage suicides, if we get rid of that, we'll save 0.00001% on our bottom line. You won't fucking get that on the left. So yeah, the left is flawed. Yeah, some of my colleagues on the left are fucking nuts, but they're not evil, vindictive, looking to slam and put their knee on the neck of the vulnerable for the sake of a fucking dollar or two. And that's why I sit on the left. And that's why I will fight hammer and tooth with people on the right who basically are supporting money over minors, cash over kids. It's just fucking evil. It's fucking evil.